Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. In the last video, I relieved all the feathers on both sides and tried to smooth out the feathers, doing a real light touch with the bullet-shaped diamond. Okay. Like I said, you can also use the round cylinder one, this one right here, and either one works out great. Okay, and you want to stage it down so that each feather grouping that I numbered, you want to follow that, and that's the sequence you want to get that down. I'm going to take you further on into the tail and how to set up the coverts in here, but mainly the tail. We want to start proceeding on that. So I'm going to turn the camera down so that you can see that. And I also want to show you a couple other steps as well. So bear with me. Okay. What I'm going to do now is give you some pointers for on the underneath side that I didn't relieve the swing enough. So one way to approach it is I'm going to come out from the edge about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm coming up to this grouping here, but I'm stopping short because I don't want to lift this yet. I want to go shallow as I come up here, and I'm going to lay a bit right on that line so that I can make a hollow in here so these feathers look like they're cupping back underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'll show you how to achieve that. I'm going to get the bullet again, stick it in there, and I'm not going to stick it in as far so that it is sticking out pretty good. I'm going to get my machine on, and what I'm going to do is undercut right on that line. So here we go. I'm going to lay this right in here. I'm making like a channel in there. And I'm going to carry that up, and as I get right into this grouping here before these coverts, I'm going to transition it off right there. But you can see I want about half the distance of the bit, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come through here, right on the line. This way I'm out far enough that I'm not damaging anything on the wing itself. I'm just trying to make it look like I'm jumping around here, messing up a little bit. Let's clean that up. Just hold that steady. So now I'll show you what I've left here. I have a channel. This is the one edge right here. And then there's another one on this side, which comes up almost to the burn of the last feather grouping. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm putting a pencil line on that edge so you could see it. And here's where the last burn of the feather is right here. So I'm pretty much on that. So what I want to do on this edge right here, as well as this one over here, I'm going to get my pear shape, which is this one here. It's a ruby carver. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to roll that so it rolls out towards the center of the body. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'll get that in here, turn that on, and I'm going to come back in and just blend everything back into the belly without touching the wing itself. So we're going to do some more cleanup down here later where I get right up to the burn without, in fact, I can do a little bit of it now. And then I'm going to roll this out and have a nice rollout right up to the center. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect yet. We're going to come back and do some sanding on this, but you want a nice rollout without too many bumps in it. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to blend that edge away and roll it towards the center of the body. And down here, where I was further away from the burn, I'm just going to clean that up just a little bit more. So I'm trying to get that rounded over so there's no remnant of the channel edge, and I could see it here, but I didn't get it all. So I'll work on that a little bit. And go back on the other side. I'm looking for edges that I may have missed. And that's when you start pivoting this around, a lot of times you can see it better because the light hits it and you think you got everything, but you don't. Okay, I think that looks fairly decent there. Now, what I want to do is start constructing the tail here. The tail is, if you measure it, it should be 2.5 inches from the tail up on the center line. Here's your center line of the body that came up. And I want you to measure straight up on there, 2.5 inches. And you put a dot right on the center. Now, what I would like you to do is from that point, these are what you call the wing coverts in here. I'm going to come out, you can see this grouping over here. I'm going to come up to about the second feather up, and where that starts up here, I'm going to roll this down and around on that dot. It's almost like you're making a V. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And another way of doing it too, I'm giving you some information here about what feather to use, but in reality, if you look down, I'm looking measurement-wise from the center line out. It should come up to about 5/8 out. You put a dot over here, 5/8 out, you put a dot over here, and then from that point out, you sort of come down and roll it right at the end, but you're almost making a V in this shape right here. Okay, so that would be this right in here. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to put this tail in. If you notice, here's the center line right here, and on the drawing, the feather is slightly off. So if I come over here and I start drawing my feather, it comes across the center line here, and it comes back, and then it pulls in. If you notice from here to here, it's about 1/8 of an inch. So if you make a mark there, and you come out and then come back, you really want to mimic what's on the drawing here. And then this feather is about, looks like it's got a little better than 1/4 of an inch on the other side, so you want to go out a little further than 1/4. I say 1/4. Let me just 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's a little better than 1/4. So I'm going to lay this in here, and if you notice, it's a little wider. It's almost like 3/16 down here. So I'm going to make that a little wider here, and then this gets tapered up and joins up with this one. And that's the first feather. Now, if you noticed, all of these sort of piggyback off. They slightly turn inward at this spot here, but they're almost going straight across, not quite. So for the second feather, I'm going to start right about here. And I'm going to try to mimic that, which is a little, almost a little more than an 1/8 of an inch. And then it tapers in to slightly less than an 1/8 of an inch. So it's going to come around. You're mimicking basically this and following it, but it's going to start narrowing in when you get to this point on the coverts, that V. And then you're going to do the next one, very similar. You're coming off of that one, like so. You're coming out, and then as I come up to the V, it pulls in more. And then I'm going to go to the next one. There's actually 5 on this side. I'm going to come out again, and then turn in. To there. And then I have 1. This is not counting I'll count the big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have right now 1 is the top, 2, 3, 4. Now I gotta go and get another one in here. That pulls right in up to here. And then the last one, which just pulls off, and you can see it's sort of getting less. It's not a straight line across, but it steps down inward. Then I pull this one all the way over to here. So that's that side. Now on this one, it starts about an 1/8 of an inch off of center, which is right about here. I'm going to go out, and this is more than a full 1/8 coming out as far as width here. So I'm going to come around here and then turn in, and then I'm going to come up here about an 1/8 of an inch off of that one, maybe a hair's breadth less, and pull that in. Then you have, from that one that I just put in, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to take another one off of this, come around, and we go pull that one in fairly tight. These are a lot tighter over here on this side, so it's one there. Let's get this around a little more, and then this around a little bit more. And we pull this one in. So we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 1, 2, 3, then 4. 4 comes shooting straight up. Then we go one more, and this one's pulling in a little bit more. It's not going straight across, it's tapering this way. And this will pull all the way up to here. Slide that back down to there. Okay, and then we get one more in right on the end. Slide that up. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 on either side, and that should do it. Let me clean this up a little bit. We sort of got choppy in there because I didn't smooth that out enough before, but we'll get to that. There's that one, and then this one moved up to about there. Okay, so I'm looking at this again. I'm going to push this one out a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think I got it out far enough, or should have been far enough out more. So I'm going to come around. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to burn just these feathers in like I did in the last video, and I will come back and show you that, and then how to relieve it as well. And remember, this has been a roll. When we first initially came in here with the hogging bit to take it down, we sort of had a roll across here. If you remember, we had put an arc back here, and the same way on an arc on the underneath side. That's how we got this dished out in here. So we got a slight roll, so that helps you when you're staging these to be in there. So let me go in. I'm going to burn on the line, not the center line now, but all the rest of the feathers, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to relieve them as well. Okay, so if you enjoy this video, I'd appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that greatly, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.